Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to Dreamy Dreamland with Sensei Bob. I am that guy, your griot, here to tell you stories. And here we are at the undisclosed location, deep down in the bell. See those stairs? I have to go up and down. It's kind of hard for me to do, but that's not the only. These aren't the only stairs I have. It's got a lot of stairs. It's deep underground. Anyway, so ding dong, the bitch is dead. But not really, almost. I just love Carrot Head. Look what he's done in just the last week. I mean, it seems like 3 years already, and it's only been a week. Last week, this time, Carrot Head was not putting his hand on the Bible, and he had his fingers crossed, and and he's doing a great job. I mean, he's making America great. I mean, this guy is going to just 86 the place like it would take three other presidents to do what he's going to do. He's going to make America great again. What's going to be? I mean, America's never been great, right? It's been great for some people. It's been great. It has certain attitudes that aren't like anyplace else that give the illusion of greatness. But come on, look at all the wars, and we don't even win them. Korean War, we lost that. Vietnam War, we lost that. You know, um, Afghanistan, we lost at 20 years, $1 trillion. We lost that. Right? 6,000 guys dead, 100,000 really badly wounded, and another 250,000 brain screwed. Iran even worse. We killed 6 million Iraqis, right? Not Iran, Iraqis. But we wanted, that Iran's on the list. And look at the Houthis. Who would think that the Houthis could screw up the Western world as, little Houthis? They're like a little engine that could, they're just woo, amazing. So here we are. And what does this show us? This shows us that um, we are not. Do I look like Flash Gordon now? Flash Gordon's father. So the bottom line is love is all there is. Love's co-creation is God. You know, any other word you want to use for God, the great Maker, Elohim, whatever. We are not meant to know I am, because the only way we can know I am is to let I am illuminate our heart, and then through that process. And so right now, let's close our eyes. Come on, close your eyes and take a big breath. Now, don't do this if you're driving a car. Breathe deeper, deeper, deeper. Focus your conscious mind on your breath. Breathe for 4 beats in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then blow out for 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then you can breathe in more. And what you're doing is you're breathing into prana, the life force of love's co-creation, God, that silver golden light. See it clearly. And now your body is on automatic, and your conscious mind, you're in your subconscious, and you're looking at the imaginary mirror. That's right behind your eyelids. That's where you have dreams. See it clearly. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Breathe in that prana and breathe out. Evacuate all the fear, all the anger, all the stupidity, all the stuff that doesn't matter at all. Everything in your material life does not matter at all. It's an illusion. It's a sandbox that we play in. The only thing that matters is God's love. Only thing. When that football player, that baseball guy, or that athlete, that soccer player, that he makes a great, amazing play, and then he comes off the field, and all his teammates and coaches come over and pat him on the back, and he knows the TV camera's watching. He goes, "Thank you, Mom." Right? And so why doesn't he say, "Thank you, Dad, who taught him how to play football or baseball or or soccer?" Because that young man, his father taught him how to strive for the game, but his mother, with her unconditional love, taught him how to have respect for himself and want to strive for that thing that he loves to do. And that's what God put us here to do: strive for that thing that we love to do. And the most important thing to love to do is to be in co creation with God, because without that co creation, without that um, that consciousness that we only live in the moment and we only exist in um, from the grace of God's unconditional love. And that is the covenant that we read about in the Old Testament all the time. And that's the Ark of the Covenant. And covenant was like some super duper atomic bomb wacko weapon. No, it wasn't. It was that connective tissue between God and his people. And all through the Old Testament, towards the end, towards Exodus, God is really getting pissed with the Hebrews, because they're always acting like a bitchy girlfriend, stealing his cigarettes and taking his money, and just not doing what he wants us. And so the Jews treat everyone like crap, and then they get after years of the Egyptians, the Mesopotamians, the Babylonians being treated like crap by the Jews, they go and conquer them and then enslave them. And still, they're not enslaved like they're not cleaning out toilets or anything. They are there as the accountants. They are there as the lawyers. So that's kind of what we have going on here now, right? Um, the whole human race is acting like bitchy girlfriends to God, starting wars, having genocide, killing the most innocent people. People can't fight back, have no real protection. And it's not the strip, and it's not just Ukraine. It's all in Africa. It's in the United States. It's in every developed country. There is a other living there that is being taken out. So you see all these things going on around. The weather is really crazy. A lot of earthquakes, a lot of floods, a lot of just wacko weather. If you really look at it closely, it's pretty much biblical. And then you look at all the political leaders that are going wacko right wing fascist. And you look at Carrot Head. I mean, he lives on a diet of diet Pepsi or Coke and cheeseburgers from McDonald's, and he's been doing that for a long time. And he's got a really nice suit. He's always got stuff that I don't know if you could say makes him look slimmer, but he takes that whale look off, right? And he's got such a crazy hairdo and a silly putty makeup on that that's what everyone kind of is like gobsmacked about. And there it is, right in front of you, right? So what are you going to do about it? Well, you really can't do anything because the political system has been so. We have no represent. We never had representation. I look at from the beginning of our founding fathers. The Declaration of Independence was a great document. All people created equal. We have this government and we form. We the people come together to bring a the government to serve we the people. Well, it doesn't really do that. It serves we the white guys. That was the we the people. That was the club starting right off the beginning. You know. So what happened? Well, pretty much before black people became slaves, um, they tried to enslave Indians, but Indians would fight back, slash, or just go deeper into the woods, right? And so they had to find other groups. So they brought in white Europeans that were indentured servants, right? When you think indentured, you're thinking of a butler or a scholar. No, no. These people were slaves. The pilgrims, they were put on land that the king owned and rented to some rich guy. And then he got all these people who just wanted to get out of Dodge because they were being treated like crap. So, they signed a contract saying, okay, we'll go to America and start building up this problem, make a town, and we'll build houses and have farms, and you own everything. And in 10 years, we will have freedom to, America's a big place. We'll head west or head north or head someplace other than here. And then, at the end of 10 years, the guy said, well, really, we paid you, we paid for everything. We sent all the materials. We kept you alive. We protected you with our militias. And who basically, militia has always been the police. The police have always served the rich people, keep the poor people in line. And, when, the police are doing in America right today, they are doing exactly what they're designed to do, no matter how many commissions or how many entities that are looking over their shoulders and saying, well, they really shouldn't have killed that guy. I mean, all he was doing was sweeping the sidewalk, and you came and you tased him to death. I mean, just because it's a black guy, come on. Anyway, so the only thing you can do is to be your best. You don't have to be perfect, just be your best, right? And all around you, you can see in every day in every way, there are opportunities. You see that person over there who's working at Walmart's and they're stacking the shelves and they don't really look too happy about what they're doing. You kind of go, say, how you doing? And you get into a nice little conversation and you listen. You don't talk to them. I mean, you talk to them, but you mostly listen to what because they need someone to listen to them, to hear them, understand. Why do you think all those people who do all those crazy things and the shootings and all like that? It's because, no one's listening to them and they're being used. They need the power structure here needs those useless people with guns, like Obama said, they do, they live with their guns and their religion. Obama is no smarter, no better, no anything. He was another chucklehead put in there by the ruling elites. He was just holding the space, and that's what Downey is, just holding the space, right? And he keeps making these things. Well, I'm going to be the last president. I'm going to be king soon. And he's doing all kinds of things to test the guardrails. He's like getting rid of the 14th Amendment. He's like he put out 300 and something, you know, executive orders, more than any other president ever. And you know, he just keep going. He doesn't stop. He never talked about having war with Greenland and the Netherlands and NATO, and he never talked about taking over parts of Mexico and Canada as the 51st state, and Greenland, we're just going to take it, and Panama, we're going to go in there with the army, and really, and Russia's really bad for just wanting what used to be theirs back, or at least somewhat getting a safety net around them so they don't feel like they're going to be attacked, because maybe demographically within 8 years Russia won't be able to put together an army. Everybody's going to be over 60. And Ukraine's blown up all their refineries. The only thing they had to sell was oil, and the market has changed, and it's going to change again, because we are going to have all hell is going to break loose in the Mideast. Um, basically, Bibi is, they have this little, peace, thing going on. It's not going to. He only did that to quiet his homeboys and girls who were screaming about what about the hostages? What about the hostages? And Israel has hostages too. They're all the Palestinians in jail that weren't even charged for anything, and they've been there for years, and thousands of them. Right? No one talks about that, or the West Bank is being taken over. The what's going on in Lebanon, and anyway. Um, But the Houthis just keep on giving. It's a gift that doesn't, and see all these, Bibi created Hamas because they needed that enemy to keep their people scared, so they could go further and further into a fascist. And I mean, they were never a democracy. They were never a democracy. That's a joke. You know, um, the only thing that represented the people somewhat was their courts, and that was going after. And so the poor Israeli people are basically psychotic, right? Are being driven crazy by their own government because their own government wants all of Palestine, not just what was given to them by the UN. And when they took that, they wanted everything, but they took that because they knew once the UN made them a state and they had a border to protect, they could just kick ass on anybody, and they had the long view on things. Gas Macabon. Okay. This is a great piece of art. Yep. Witnessing. Yep. But you have to do more than witnessing. You have to basically, um, you know, why do I do this? I guess witnessing can be more than just watching. You have to like tell the story to others. That's what a griot does. Sees the thing, tells the story. That's why I do this show. I mean, I'm not monetizing this thing at all. I'm not. A lot of people. I'm not like it's not going viral. A lot of people watch it. I get a lot of feedback, so I know I'm having an effect. But it's my real effect is I want you, Janie Poo, you 113, to start doing your bit, right? You get out there and start talking to people everywhere. That you're online at the supermarket. Charity is the way. Yep, the charity thing. So our little community center, we're doing a lot of charity. I mean, we've given away close to I don't know how many millions of dollars of stuff. I mean, when the event happened, and we were the county didn't do it, the state didn't do it, the FEMA didn't do it. When Donnie goes, we have to get rid of FEMA and have the state do it. I mean, he shouldn't just say that because it's not the right thing. The right thing is, okay, we'll give the money to the state and have certain auspices that benchmarks that they have to do, right? And so that's what I love Donnie because he brings forth a lot of stuff that we don't get from the average politician. He really, and it's going to be interesting. He keeps saying that he's going to give the whole file of the JFK and the UFOs and all of that kind of stuff. And I really don't see how we can do that because most of that stuff is not owned by the government. All that information is proper. All the really sensitive information is owned and controlled and kept by corporations because with a little form you fill out, you can get the federal government to give you information. Freedom of Information Act, but you have to know everything about it already and all the rest, right? And so 100 billion for AI project. Yay, yes. And it's really interesting that the Chinese have just come up with an AI that's far superior, far superior to anything that the Americans or Europeans have put out. And the stock market took a big tumble the other day from that. Yep. So Face palm. What's that mean? Face palm. Jiminy. Yep. I think that's it. The Chinese thing. And they did it for nothing, like a few $1 million and, a couple of smart kids down in the basement eating Skittles. So, what we have tried to do by isolating China has kind of wrinkled the blanket in that China is now learning that it has to be more flexible, more maneuverable, more thinking outside the box. And Xi, I don't know how longer Xi is going to last because he did his thing, and it's now time for a new leader who is more democratic. I mean, in a lot of ways, China is more democratic than the United States, but we have to have a leader there who can really and their Silk Road and the bricks and all of that, they are definitely logistically moving, and we can't respond to it except in, electing or putting in a carrot head who's basically going to do more harm to the United States and the Western. It's going to destroy Europe. It's going to you know collapse the EU. And if Putin can, just hold on for another 2 years and then use nukes, Europe will be in his back pocket. So it's and he's just got to use a couple of nukes just to scare the shit out of him, and throw one at a high apogee and blow it up about 20 miles up in the sky, and with the EMP boost and fry every chip in Europe. You know that's all he has. I mean, he doesn't have to blow up a city. Just put one missile, an EMP missile up about 20 miles, detonate it, and it would take out every chip in Europe. No car would start, no truck would start, no train would start, no power plant would work. There'd be no communications, no internet, and that would do a bang. Even if they didn't do it to America, that would be a bang on to the rest of. And if they do it relatively soon, then Downey could use it as an excuse to go to war with Canada, Mexico, and Greenland, right? Because of national security. Play silly games, win stupid prizes. Yep, Stargate, really. I mean, isn't that? I mean, wasn't it a TV show and a movie? I mean, aren't there trademark things about Stargate? Fire Drake, good to see you, bud. Anyway, what else can I say? What do you guys think of all of this that I just put out? I really think Donnie's going to keel over. I mean, like before the end. I don't think he's going to live through this year, or he will. Yeah, and which shows that he's really a robot, right? He's really, and what was that movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger? I'd be back. The robot's killing all the humans. Um, I think Donnie's part of that. He's really a transhuman, a sex robot. Donnie's a sex robot. Melania, maybe. I mean, I love the fact that she was dressed as the Hamburglar at the swearing, and she's holding the Bible in her hand. And do you notice that she had two books there, right? The Bible, a Bible. Who knows what Bible? I think it was a Donnie Bible. Make Jesus great again. And another little book on top of it that I think was something from Aleister Crowley. But I couldn't really say. It looked like she was going to a funeral. Well, she was. Our democracy. I mean, we haven't had it ever, but whatever illusion of it is, see ya, bye. Good luck with that. That's Miss Lillian. She's making dinner. What you cooking, Miss Lillian? Her her hearing is not working too good. Anyway, so what do you think? Thought it was republic. Yes, right. It was never democracy, republic. They were really into the Greeks. You know, they liked doing everything Greek. That's that what it was. But he didn't have his hand on it. He kind of that his right hand was not on the biblioteca or his left or his head or his butt. Or, you know, he was anyway. 25 minutes and 55 seconds. Hmm. Ancient Greek. Yep. Those are the good old days, the ancient Greeks. Aristotle, Plato, Publicists. Yep, exactly. They try to influence human activities with something higher than morals. Morals can be ignored, but when you know put the responsibility on the I am that's inside of us, you know that we have to be our best. Not we can't be perfect, but we can be our best. You know, in the Old Testament, we were made in the image and likeness of God. And when you see what the burning bush said to Moses, that, you know, he was, I am a work in progress, and I am inside of you, and I am watching you as a mirror so I can reflect on what I should be doing. Left hand is receiving, right hand is giving. Yep. Uh, he didn't want to receive from the good book, maybe for good reason, probably. Yes, burn away your mortality. Yep. So we're heading into strange. Well, we've been in strange times, you know, pretty much since our founding fathers. We've been in strange times. You know, they America's based on being transactional and to be what's you know the most financially thing we can make money out of in this moment. Yes, it might destroy our corporation or our country in a few years from now, but this quarter, I'm going to make a lot of money. So, and the mortality thing is just an illusion, you know. And if we understood that our life wasn't some kind of race from the beginning to the end, and those who died with the most toys wins, um, no. So I'm going to. Falling, failing. Well, we are the fallen angels. You know, those guys came down and had partied with the young, pretty simians. So it's an interesting. You know, the Chinese have this curse. You know, may you live in interesting times. And boy, are we ever! And because we're being more and more aware of it, right? We were in interesting times, like I said, since the founding fathers, but we were too busy just staying alive. Now we are you know, just so comfortable, everything's so convenient. We're just realizing we're about to step off. We've already stepped off the cliff. We live in a magical realm. Just most don't realize their true power. Oh, this is very true. Meaning they haven't understood what the I am is. It's inside of us. It's not outside of us. It's inside of us. And the powers that shouldn't be keep that covered up. You know, they give us a false religions, just enough truth in those religions for people to like hang their hat on and believe in until they are, the rug is pulled out from underneath. And boy, are we going to have the rug pulled out from underneath us. I have to turn chat to all messages. Oh, okay. Thank you for telling me that. Top chat, live chat. How do I turn it to? I'm putting it on. I'm just going to put it on top chat. This is into the temple for God, our heads. Yes, he threw the money changers out because they're not supposed to be there. Religion's not supposed to be a business. Tax free. Top to all chat. So I go all the way to the top, right? And there's it says top chat, and I hit that, and it says top chat, right? I don't know how to attend the reaction, send feedback. I don't seem to know how to do that. Now it's just on top chat, but not even live chat. Learn more. No, I don't want to learn more. Okay, I just have to go with what it is. Live chat, less censored, short, weird, wired YouTube. I can't even do that. Now it's stuck in top chat. Anyway, enough of that. I'll figure it out. So, you know what? Someone there email me the dude awake 42 at Gmail. The dude awake 42 at Gmail on what's the right thing and how to do it. Because when I start off, all I have a choice is between top chat and live chat. So I yeah, live chat. Okay. Okay, I'll stick with a live chat. Anyway, so let's see. I can only has me able to go. I'm stuck in live chat. Oh, there's. Okay, there we go. See, I have no idea about it. See, other people who do blogs and they have whole corporations behind them. And I'd love some corporation to come say, oh, Bob, you've done over 2,000 shows. They're all pretty cool. We'd like to buy your channel. You can still do everything you do. We want to, and we'll give you a salary, and you can still do it the way, but we're going to give you a little group of people who will help you do the show better. Evil Live. What do we do? It's a long story. Ask yourself who the Greeks were that wrote that. Yes, hymns. Reference. Yeah, pretty much everybody in the days of old, before the New Testament, that Hebrews read their books. They were three Jewish books, right? It was the Talmud, Tom, Tom, the Talmud, the Tabla, and the esoteric one, right? The thing about the gremlins and stuff, and it was all in Greek. So if you really want to, read what Jesus was about, you go read everything that's in Greek, and all of the, the emerald tablets, all of the things, the scrolls that were picked up in the 50s and 60s, and then all the ancient stuff that Jesus wrote when he didn't go straight up into the clouds. He and Mary Magdalene walked into Western Europe and started a Merovingian crew. call and podcast. More people need to hear you. You're right. Oh, okay. I'll try to figure that one out. I mean, I do have guests, and so people, I don't want to like put my phone number out to the general public. So I think maybe what you would do is anyone who wants to be a calling guest, send me an email, the dude awake 42 at Gmail, dude awake 42 at Gmail, and get, like Lana, she's the person who did that. And I called her up and she'd be part of the show, right? And a few other the people who I call up and call in. And you're right. Whenever that happens, it's always very good, right? Um, like last night, I had Kay. He, old friend. We've done a lot of stuff in social activism together, and he's, He's starting a community, because I've been talking about, I've always been a community builder, and not like a community activist, but building like communes, things off the grid. Let's see. Yep, devil. There's so many stories about the devil that you go, a lot of people say devil and genius, Jesus were twins, right? Two sides of the coin. And you kind of need both to get what's supposed to come out the other side. There's separation between the sacred and the corporation of it. Oh, there's Lana. Yes. You have a separation brain too. Yep. Left and right side, right? Into plenty for decades. You're not the only one, bro. Right. Well, and that's pretty much a good portion of the cadre is seekers. I mean, I would say all the cadre is seekers, right? There are guys who are out there trying to figure it out instead of just going for the brass ring, right? Mm, Ammon is not advocating for the corruption. Ah. Lad, I love you, baby. Uh, Good, bro. It's pure rights, then corrupted rights. Yep. But you have to, I mean, I was talking to someone about this earlier today about corruption and why we were thrown out of the Garden of Eden. Because, our real reason for being here is not to live in these water bags, no, and make money, get a big house and a cool car. No. What we're here to do is to learn about the I am that's inside of us, right? To like bring, because if we can bring the separation that's in the duality that's in our existence, that's when we're going to be really cooking with gas and serving, the Creator's unconditional love. But He does corrupt. So anyway, we had to be thrown out of the Garden of Eden because we basically would have been just dancing with unicorns and frolicking in the rainbows, and so and eating Skittles. So we were thrown out, and we were made to work and put clothes on and deal with all this material stuff. It was the challenge. So someone would say, "The devil makes us do all this corrupt sin." I said, "No. The devil just tempts us. We do it. It's we're doing it. The devil isn't killing all the people around the world. We are. But this corruption, essence of Christ, Krishna, Rama, Sam, root core teachings of love given by the pontificating or right of sorcery. Well, that's interesting, James. And that's a good question, and it's something that no one even touches with a 10-foot pole. If you can't distinguish between the purity and the disillusioned, then you will remain under the. And that's why you have to be your best, not perfect, your best. And you have, by doing that, you have to have a conscious intent in the moment to co-create with love. You do that, you're on the right track. Be careful. Let's see, get my finger out of the way. Let's see. Be careful because it have been some things before. All of it, do not wake it because it will eat. Yes, it angels up. That's right, man. With one breath. Yep. He's showing the text. Anything else is your projection. Pretty much. Um, soon, well, again, do you know why people lived doubles every language perfectly equated and has a depressed meaning that are it, 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 hmm. No, I don't. Look, Loom, down, down. Uh, so you're it. The old games, yeah, right. So basically, we had to, and that's why Donnie is quite an interesting thing. I mean, he is just breaking the china left and right, and let him go for the gold. You know, let him destroy everything. You take it down. He's doing a great job. I mean, first week he is like amazing. You know, so they live or they lie. Yep, exactly. Oh my. Well, Fish, we're having a really interesting discussion, right? It's. I like it. This is what I. This is why I did this thing. I only had to wait 7 years for this. You know. That's another question. Is it likely Jesus was the only event or God incarnated as man? No, we are the children of God. God is inside of us, and his sin, you know, slash the devil's temptation that keeps us from harmonizing that thing that we can't hit that frequency, we can't hit that high note. Looking at all from all the world shut down, come up, we in Sweden just gonna get it. Yep, pretty much, baby. Language lexicon has been corrupted, no kidding. In order to begin to incinerate, you must go beyond the language. Yep, real estate. I mean, so that's why uh, Donnie put that presidential order in to get rid of DEI, and he went all the way back to LBJ, who just started to say, "Hey, we got to let the black people, we got and women, and everyone has to have somewhat of a slice of the pie, not just white men." And Donnie threw that chunk of red meat into his basin, his drain, and but people don't realize that's the beginning of double think. Language. Okay. Does anyone know the difference between ascension and transfiguration? Well, yes, we look at the Greek roots of it. Ascension means to rise above. Transfiguration is to change, right? To have a different figure, right? So that's that could be maybe transhumanism. Hmm? Maybe you're missing the point altogether. Now I see you delayed the shit we've been with from 2020 start to now. Yep. Well, and it's Atlanta. This shit's been going on for longer than that, and it's hard. It's like the rest of the world just paused. Yes, and this is good. The rest of the world is not being woke. It's kind of being hit with a two by four and going, uh oh. Like all the people in America, all that Donnie talked about, I'm going to make everything affordable in the supermarket. Man, it's going to go through the roof. He puts those tariffs on all these countries. I mean, he just did this one thing to Costa Rica, no, the place where we get coffee and bananas and cut flowers from. He put a 50% tariff on those guys because they wouldn't let him land, military aircraft into his country and dump convicts off. The same thing that Donnie said, they're doing this to us. No matter how many times a parrot utters, I am man, it does not mean so. God knows he is the sparrow, but the sparrow is yet to realize that all souls are destined for the goal of God speaks. Yep, exactly. I mean, your Prince is us. We had since the beginning of 2020, and you complain. I know. Come on, dude. Shouldn't take anything America says worth anything. We're worthless. Our government is just a piece of crap. You know God by the language. No, I mean, no, see, buddy, '09 or '009. Basically, the thing is, the languages, that's what what's his name was talking about in 1984, Newspeak. It's all he who controls, you know, the past controls the future. That is why I use it. It by being it. Yep, exactly. The bad with the good or the God, right? I love you. Defending us. Yep. Bioacoustic programming. Yeah. I mean, the technology is there. I mean, we are so programmed, it's mind boggling. Why do you think I live out in the middle of the woods, right? Where I have no nothing. No, I barely have electricity, That, I had to get running water from a spring. I had to, it's like I'm being like an African woman, spending a good 20% of my day getting water, right? And I do that so I have to walk. If I didn't walk, like right now, the last 4 weeks, I've been in the undisclosed place, just sitting around, and walking and rolling and lying on concrete, which is, pretty much what everybody in this industrial world is doing. I don't even know what you are anymore. Which you were talking about, Lana? USA coming. Yes, okay. Yes. I mean, basically, America's always been a corporate state, It's further on, I don't know who said it, but, we were we're not a democracy. We are a whatever we are, a republic. But we're not even that. We're a republic for rich people, and we always have been. That's the story. And every day, when you know that a friend there is no convincing others, goes apparent closeness to his creation is in the nature of the gift. You're a teenager in 2000s. Now you're getting into the 20s. Gods. Indeed, Jamie. No need to convince. Exactly. No need to convince. I mean, all you guys have been watching me for the years. So do I convince anybody? No. I tell stories. Is what I do. I tell stories. It's good to see you too, James, and everyone else in the cadre. So this has been a great conversation up to now, and I'll stick to it as long as people want to keep talking. Lana, did you get a hold of my? Yes, you did get a hold of my novels. Have you looked at them? Sorry, guys. You leaving us, Lana? Yes, you did. Good. email me at the dude awake 42 at Gmail. And let's talk mano a mano about what you think of my stuff. Or you could mention it here if you want to. Anyway, so, and anybody who wants to get a hold of my stuff, uh, dude. What's that duty? Howdy doody. And today, would they really, duty is like a childish term in English, for shit. So, howdy doody, was that like shit talking to you? Was that what, I'm pregnant again? Oh, you're good. So you're into mommy mode. Good, 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 good. Two is good. You might stop at two, because then they got each other to play with and conspire with. And you're in a good country to have children. You got health care, the government sees the value of the next generation. Those are all good things. Yeah. They need friends, right? Exactly. Anything more than four is like overindulgence, and it'll drive you nuts, right? So two is stay at two. If you have three, Lana, and I'm going to tell this to everyone. It's very simple. The Catholic Church had a great thing called rhythm. It actually works. You get a calendar, you figure out your cycle, you circle the 7 days you shouldn't let them go in, and play around with Willie on the outside. Um, the other thing is, when women are ovulating and most vulnerable to become pregnant, they have a small mucus discharge. And if you teach your man to love being a lesbian and going down there, he'll be able to see it and go, "Oh, honey, look, discharge. We should like fool around here. Let me take care of you." Blah 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 blah. So talking in tongues. That's what that's about. Uh, ah, how do we get rid of this stupid thing? Put user in timeout. No, I don't want to do any of the above. Why is this doing this? Really? Not too old, right? My mom had me when she was 50. Yes, do what feels natural. Yep. Exactamundo. Yes. Trust, good diet. You'll be good. Yeah, he already did one. The first one is like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Second one, I got this, right? Yeah, you have a good intake and you have a good environment, right? Obviously, you have a good enough man to have two babies. So, and just have the conversation, you know, between I used to counsel um, marriage, when I worked for the corporate shrinky corporation, and I did all the stuff they didn't want to do. I did their you know pro bono work. I did their nobody wanted to do family relations. No one wanted to do that, but they had good insurance. Right. Anyway, so I did that, and it was what it was. So, oh, let's see. Let's see what Miss L is cooking. Let's go into the kitchen. Let's hope I don't drop the computer. So, sweetie, what are you making?
Soup beans.
Ooh, smells good. So you did a big ham, I heard.
Old-fashioned eating.
Yes. Everyone was talking about your ham and how good it was.
Well, I thought it was a little overdone.
But see, most people don't know what it really should taste like.
The service at church,
Was too long?
well,
That's you and me.
yeah.
I'm talking to a friend. She lives in Sweden,
Oh,
and she got pregnant about 7 months ago. Now she's having another baby,
oh.
and she's like, what should I do? And I said, I'm going to see what this young lady did when she had babies.
Well, to say congratulations.
Yep.
It's a blessing.
It's a blessing. See, it's a blessing. Boy. Okay. I'm going to see how the cats are now. Isn't it amazing how many cats fit in the little room there?
Oh, yeah. They found them a home.
They found them a home. Yep. These guys have here, let's see what they're doing in there. I have to throw the laundry in the... They're all trying. I mean, half of them just ran away. Whoops. But these guys want me to open the door so they can get into the warmness. But they're kind of warm here. Let's see. Put this over here while I clear up. Just stay there. Yes, little kitty. Yes. Look at this little kitty. Look at this little kitty. This is one of 60. There's a whole bunch of them. Go say hello to that guy. Spin side wheels didn't work out that good. This is Carrot Head dancing. You guys should keep talking. Just keep talking. Come on. Just keep talking. Yeah, that's a little better. Really, it's not doing too good. Something's ridiculously. Okay. Oh, did the cats get out? Yes, they did. Those naughty cats. Here's Hobo, and there's Maggie. 60 cats, 2 dogs. Do. But
There's some leftover pizza if you're hungry.
I'll take a look. Thanks, sweetie.
It's on the.
Yeah, up on the top. What do you think of that new refrigerator? Doesn't that look like a robot? It's like an oppressive robot. It actually talks to you. I hate it when appliances talk to you. You're stupid. You forgot to buy milk. You know, that's a bit much. Do the glasses. I showed these guys the wisdom of dollar store glasses. Let's see. But I'll cook. I don't know. I get a little too messy for the average folk. No, she's a great cook. She is the queen of meats. Cat energy. Oh, maybe it's a friend. Yep. Yeah, come by and talk to her, and we talk about the Bible. Cheeto Jesus. I love that. I'm going to use that one, James. That's coined by Ken, aka Cheeto Jesus. Very instructive. Yep. What's the name of the channel? AKA Sierra Apophis channel. Okay, I'm going to check that out. Theora. Okay. Theoria. Okay. Gotcha. Go Cats. Yep. That'll be my wife in 20 years. I mean, she literally has 60 freaking cats. It's like, and a pig. Otis. He's just like the character in Andy's, you know. Ghetto Jesus. Don't know why it's so funny. It's not. But the Cheeto Jesus, now that's funny. That's right on. I like that. So here we are, 1 hour and 4 minutes and 38 seconds. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to Dreamy Dreamland with your Sensei Bob. Oh, Cheetos, not ghetto. Okay, got it. Thanks, Cheetos. Okay. So Cheetos, they're red too. And that makes sense. Yes, Cheeto, Jesus. Okay. Orange. Yeah, I got it. I got it. See, I try to stay away from that stuff. It's the stuff that killed me. You know. But I was telling my friend that, yeah, that 15 years of super hedonism, that wasn't bad. That wasn't sin. I learned a lot from it, as long as you learn. See, that's the real problem with most people. That's what addiction is. You don't learn from your first mistake. After that first shot, you shouldn't do it again. Meaning, there are a lot of things I tried that were like, okay, I won't do that again. You know, I was telling you the story about my life in Albuquerque and all the crazy shit I did and lived with Santa Claus, and that's why I'm Santa's younger brother, Bob. That's where I got the Bob from. People would ask me, "So who's this guy?" And Santa said, "Oh, that's my brother Bob. He takes care of the naughty and nice list." So that's where I got that name. But when I got my job from the Blue Bunny, employment agency for this, Dick, that was his name, Dick. Why do people call it instead of Richard's a nice name? Why don't you want to be called Richard? Why do you be called Dick? Anyway, Dick, he I did high voltage work all over the place and on very strange things. And so, but when I got that job, they had a little party for all of us who I got a job that day, and we got gifts. We got said Blue Bunny, you know, what are those jackets you belonged. And inside had a secret pocket, and inside the secret pocket was a very nice leather wallet that had a secret thing in it, and mine had a secret thing in it for blunts. And the nursery girl that I met at the party, and she was all in her nursery uniform, the whole girl, and we talked, and you know, she had just gotten there, and she had no place to live, and so she moved in with me, and we had sex, 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 sex. And I was only there on from Friday to Sunday morning, and then I'd have to go to work for a whole. I'd be gone for a whole week, and she lived there. And I said, okay, you can stay here, but don't have anybody else here. Don't wreck the place. Don't do anything stupid. I trust you. Just enjoy the place. Go up and have fun. Do whatever you. She had a car. I didn't have a car. Go to work, make money. Have friends, but go to their house, right? And so she okay, and she was very good at that. She never, because I could have told, see what what's going on by not being there and then coming back. Oh, you had a friend, you had this, you did that. Okay, but she was good, true to her word. She was fine. So, but all we ever did was cook and have unbelievable sex and smoke pot. And she got, I don't know where she got her, and she had a lot of other drugs that she took, but I said, nah. And so I said, honey, why don't we ever go to the movies? Or we did go to um, the Tender Trap. We did go listen to music. We did go to lectures, and which she liked that, but that was about it. But most of the time, just at home having sex, us making really great food. There was one Mexican like little cantina in our neighborhood, and we go there, and all the boys were like sniffing around her, and but the OGs were my friends, and so they told everyone to leave Al's girlfriend alone, and so they did. But she liked the attention, and that was cool, and so she had her life when I wasn't there, and then we had sex, 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 and really good food. But I said, why don't we go to movies? Why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? And she goes, okay, okay. Let's. There's a new music club, so let's go to that. And I'm gonna. I got myself my own place because I know I couldn't stay here forever. And so, but we can still have sex, sex, sex. The weekends are yours. Friday to the Sunday. I just love your dick. So, anyway, so I said, okay, that's cool. So she gave me the address of her new house. I showed up, and there were a bunch of guys there. One guy's, and they're all like strung out. They're all like Jones and or like, you know. And I just come in there and I sit down. And this guy comes over to me after about 10, 15 minutes, and they're all smoking, chain smoking cigarettes. And he goes, "Are you Al?" And I go, "I guess I am." And he goes, "I want to thank you." I said, "For what?" "Saving my marriage." I said, "Oh, okay. You're welcome." And so, anyway, she shows up and she's in her nursing uniform, all starched and white, and her hat and her white shoes and her little pin, and she has a doctor's bag, right? And she comes in and she goes, "Hi, boys." "Oh, wow, you made it." "Yes." I said, "Well, just sit here. I'm gonna go inside here." And so she goes inside, and one at a time, these boys go in, and whether they were like strung out or jonesing, they come out even more like, "Ugh," and like collapse in the couch or and I go to her. She goes, "Oh, come in here, Al." And she's still in her nursing uniform, but she kind of like kind of exposes her chest, and she goes, "I want to show you something." And she shows me her hip. She lifts up her dress, and she shows me her hip, and it's got all these like little places where a needle has gone into her hip, and that's what that's where she's shooting heroin, or what she's got is morphine from the hospital. This is before computers; she could steal anything she wanted. And and she did. She had every kind of pill you could imagine. She had it, and so she showed me her hip, and she goes, I want to, So she kind of puts she does the dragon. She, gets a syringe and sucks up the morphine, and then she puts it in her leg, and she pushes it down a little bit, and then she sucks it back, and the blood goes in there and it's swirling around. And by Lord, it looks just like a dragon. And then she shoots it straight in there, and you could see that it definitely made an effect. So she goes, "So here," and so I want to show it too. So she has a brand new needle, like still in the plastic thing. It takes out. No one's been on that syringe or needle, or it's totally spanking brand new. And she takes a vial that's been totally it never takes it out of the box, takes off the little thing off the top, and takes it right, and she gets my vein. She mainlines it right in my vein. She does the drag up thing too. I'm looking at it, and she goes in and then sucks the blood up, and it's zingo right back in. Boy, I was like taking a Saturn V to the 7-Eleven. It was just like wango. I was like gone. And then she stuck my head between her breasts and put my hand up her hoo hoo, and she said, "Go at it, boy." And that was, so I am like on another planet having really amazing sex with this girl. And then, I'm like that, right? So she then hits me with something else, and the little guy stands up like a flagpole, and she goes at it. She just rides me like a pony for God knows how long. But it was, sunny when I went in there, and when we came out, it was dark. So we all got into this guy's big Buick, and we drove to this new club. And I am like, right, like my head's against the window, like bumping around on the road, and it was raining, so all the rain's on the glass, and it's like exploding, and just like I'm like going through outer space. It was like Star Trek, and we get there, everyone piles out, and my door, opens, and I pull out of the car, and I go sideways onto the lumpy, dirty parking lot, my head's in a puddle, and it's like this nose and this eye and this ear is in the water, and I'm blowing bubbles, but one nostril is up there as a snorkel, and for some reason that nostril gets all plugged up with dirt, so I'm not you know hyperventilating sewage water from the parking lot. And so I'm there for 20 minutes until this car comes. I see it coming. I see cars coming and going, and my head sideways. I still think I'm in Star Trek land. And the how am I doing for juice? Pretty good. About 10 minutes left. Um, I'll finish the story. So anyway, you know, you know, they pick me. Cars are coming and going. This one car drives in, and it's driving right towards my head. And the headlight stops about a foot from my head, and it's right in my face. And this guy gets out. What are you doing in there? I almost ran you over. And he drags me into this club and says, "Hey, who owns this guy? This guy's totally whack." And oh look, it's Hal. Oh, we forgot he was not here. And so they drag me over to the channel, and I have this black line, right? So I'm I'm still in Star Trek land. This nose, nostril all covered up, and the eyeball is like, looking through a black film, and I can't hear anything out of my good ear. And so I basically, and then I wake up in the morning, and I go to the bathroom, and I got this black line down my face. It's like that character out of Star Trek where the white face on one side, the black on the other. And I'm looking at it, and she comes in. Oh, honey, let me take care of you. And so she does. She like takes me in the shower, scrubs me up, takes me back to bed, gets her real doctoring thing out, and clears out my ear, clears out my nose, puts some drops in my eye, puts some drops in my nose, some drops in my ear, and I don't get anything. And I go, wow. She goes, "You want another shot?" I said, "No, I'm never doing that ever again. Period. Zingo, zilch." And she goes, "Well, that's why I did that, because I had a feeling, we were having all that sex, and we were having, all that great food, and having that really, I was starting to really like you." I said, "You didn't like me?" She said, "Oh, no, I needed a place to stay." And I said, and she goes, "And then my husband showed up, and he got this place, and he's teaching at music at the college." I said, "Which one of those stoners was your husband?" "Oh, the guy who came over and thank you for saving our marriage." And I said, "Yeah." I said, "I thought that was strange." He goes, "Well, he can't fuck me. He doesn't have a dick anymore. He's doing so much, morphine that he's doing heroin too since he got here, and so But I start to like you, and I every person I like, it never turns out good for them, and so I thought if all those other men, were guys that I kind of got hooked, and I'm selling, I'm making a lot of money, um, shooting them up and having sex with them. I mean, they're all like that, men of, lawyers and judges and bankers, and this is them, their midlife crisis. They're having this whoop de doo because I'm getting like five, 600 to 1,000 a piece from those guys, just for shooting them up and fucking them. And they all can stay hard pretty good, and but that won't last long. I'll just go find some more. I mean, this girl was like, talk about Satan, talk about the devil, talk about temptation. Anyway, she goes, and I did that because I wanted to see if you would fall in line with all those guys and not just be somebody I really liked more and more. And then I would kind of destroy, and I don't want to do that to you. So if you had turned into a schlemiel, that would have been not a problem. But because you got a backbone and you say no, that's good on you. You learn something. I hope you do. That's really when I started to realize that the devil is there for us to learn from things. So you can stumble, but you have to get up on your own power. You can have, God can always give you a hand up. All you have to do is, "God, I have no idea about this. Help me out with this, please." Right? I'm putting your hands on the steering wheel, and you do that. God always does it. Really, He does, right? Or it does. I don't like to anthropomorphize God. I don't even like to get. I like the idea of the Elohim, the unknowable one. Yes, it's ambiguous, not big names calling, but that's funny. Yep, Cheetos, snack, right? Orange. Yeah, okay. Rides me like a pony, just like the one that bitten off us. Yes, I seem to draw women of that. when I was a young lad, all the women I first had were, even in grade school, all the older girls were drawn to me, and they were always the bad girls, right? Debbie Soul and Kim Romano. They were daughters of gangsters, right? They were like Tony Soprano's daughters, and they really were, and they were badass. Those um, one was the boss, and the other guy was his second in command, and they were buds since childhood in Brooklyn, and came to Long Island to take over the burgeoning new market. And there was a guy in Glen Cove, which are the cities of Long Island. Freeport and Glen Cove were the two cities, and the rest were like little hamlets, more like Massachusetts than New York, because Massachusetts was just over there, just 8 miles across the Long Island Sound. But anyway, they took the girls when they were like 3 or 4 to the kung fu master, and he taught them. So they were black belts by the time they hit first grade. So if anyone tried to mess with them, right, because of their fathers, these girls could beat the crap out of them, right? And they're little, so it's hard to, some girl gives a flying kick to your kneecap and breaks your leg, and you fall over. It's hard to, get after a little girl who can run faster than you. So anyway, that was so these girls. First it was J.P. Morgan, and then the girls, those two girls, and for some reason, they thought that J.P. was James Bond, because they saw that he was carrying their parents carry guns. Everyone they knew carried guns, and they saw J.P. carrying a gun in third grade. It was like, oh. And Matty Law was the next one, and his father was a lawyer. His grandfather was a lawyer. Everybody in his family was a lawyer. First black lawyers in America, right? Laws, and that's why their names were Laws, right? And that during Reconstruction, his great grandfather was a judge. So anyway, so Matty there, and Vincent Tufo was this little shrimpy guy, but loved boats. He had a boat. He lived over near wherever that other side of Glen Cove was, and his family lived right on the water. And his father was in construction, but he loved boats. His dad loved boats too. His uncles loved boats, so they had all these boats there. So Vincent became the first short um, head of the Coast Guard. Just like that poor woman who got thrown out of her job of being leader of the Coast Guard, but she's basically a woman. Donnie's trying to erase everything, um, you know, that shows any kind of diversity. Anyway, yes, but the girl at the Bittenhouse, she was a robot basically. She was Dr. Bittenhouse, because I meet him. I go to Los Alamos, and there he is, right? And he gets me back with his wife, his daughter, his niece, his because she was a friggin' robot. And this was 1972, and he said, "You're the only guy who's ever, other than me, that's had sex with her that she didn't kill." I said, "How about in New Mexico? It's a very weird place. Everywhere it's a very weird place. Around here is a very weird place. Around where you live is a very weird place. You may or may not know this, but anyway." And again, I'm a griot. I tell stories to enlighten. Don't believe a word I say. Right? How are we doing for power? Because I don't like. Yeah, we're another 5 minutes, and then I hate it when, if the show ends with the battery dying. My laptop doesn't like it, and my YouTube channel doesn't like it. It'll put it up there, but it kind of fritzes things out. So incredible story, but very credible. Technology is good, far ahead of where we are today. No kidding. Um, the Nazis were, that moon, our moon is artificial. Where do you think George Lucas got the idea of the Death Star? He got it from Joseph Campbell. That the whole myth of Star Wars came from George Campbell. That George was unrolling Greek and even earlier myths to George, um, and and I have to say, George at least let Joseph do a lot of stuff on his ranches, and he did a lot of good stuff. But it would have been nice the first Star Wars if they gave a heads up to Joseph. I got all this from Joseph, right? So incredible story, but very credible. Yeah. So I saw a lot of that technology, and I saw it, when I was 10 years old and was at the Council for Foreign Relations, and my mentor there was Billy Kluver, right? Who got a one of those kind of Nobel awards for finding background radiation. He was at the Rad Lab. He was Mr. Radar. He was one of the guys who took a microwave horn and stuck it up into the sky, not aimed at anything specific, and was, hey, look, all this stuff's coming in. Right? So I've had an eye for that since I was an infant, and stuck a knife into the electric socket. Kind of tuned me up a bit. And so electricity has been my thing, and it has been my doorway to go into lots of other things, right? And so that's what it is. That's where I've been. Um, check on that battery. Yeah, I'm getting down there. So, anything anyone wants to bring up before I say see you later? And I'll come back later this evening, maybe 5, 6 my time, which would make it in Europe. Let's see, so 4 hours, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 or 10 European time, and have a lovely dinner now later. Yep. Okie dokie. And dinner, that's in our land here. Dinner is like lunch, so you use the right terminology. Supper, supper is the meal at the end of the day. Dinner is a big meal because you're going to go back out in the field and work more, and supper is the light meal. Too bad Americans didn't keep up with that motif because they eat the big chunky meal late at night before they go to sleep. Why do you think they're obese? In our country today, we do everything wrong. Everything nice. I was talking to a couple guys today about, the worst thing is they're just, these guys are all MAGA boys, and they're just, they've been hanging around with me too long. They're just dissing, the corporate world, you know. And I said, so what do you think about Donnie? His whole cabinet is billionaires, and Elon Musk is really the president, and then before I could say anything else, and Walmart's, I hate Walmart's. They used to love Walmart's because everything was cheap, but now it's the prices are going up, 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 and things are still, they can put up with shitty crap from China, but it's still the same shitty crap from China, but it's costing 3 times more money. So it's yeah, she was really a nurse. I mean, and every time I saw her, she would be in that white starch. I mean, starch like, and this girl, knew how to play the part. She had those white shoes with a little heel, and she had the hat with her little symbol up there, and her little button that showed where she got her nursing degree from. She was the professional, yeah, and stealing everything from the hospital because she could. There were no computers. Nobody kept a log of anything. They didn't know what was in the closet. She didn't steal everything. She just took a lot, right? Very diverse, she lots of different pills, right? And she would pick whatever thing was almost empty and that had like 10 or 20 left out of 100. She would take that jar, right? And she would open another jar and dump um, a third of that into uh, the another thing, and so the jars would all stay, the right number, but the number of pills in some of them would yeah, she was doing that, like, and she was hitting all the guys in that room who were strung out. Like she said, they're all. She said, not doctors. I don't do doctors, but lawyers, judges, people of that ilk, politicians, and I'm sure she was like photographing them. I mean, she was that kind of person, and like the way she said, that's why I shot you up. That's why we had sex. That's why I gave you those other pills that your little friend went wimp after getting that because I hit you up big time and everything kind of slowed down in your body. Then I hit you up with a thing to jack you up, and you didn't die, and you went through that experience, and then you came back to the other side, and I'm here to clean your ear and nose and eye out, and I said, let me shoot you up again. And most people who really like that first experience would say, yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me see. Let me have some more. And I said, nope, nope, never doing that ever again. And she goes, that's good. You've learned. You learned something really good, and that's why that was my little test on whether to stick with you because I really like you. And I know if I stick with you, I'm just going to ruin your life. And I don't want to do that, but I wanted you to make the decision. So I think that's the devil right there. My little experience. But a robot. I'm going to check out now and get on with what I was doing. And hope you're doing well. And I'll see you later. Later tonight. Do, 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 do.